new tag team champions, new NXT women's champion. Whew, what a show. We're going to get into it in just a second, so stay tuned. This is your NXT Stand and Deliver Takeover Night 1 review. What's up, Maniacs? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. And today we are talking about NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver Night 1. It delivered. It delivered. And if this was night 1, I'm very, very intrigued as to what night 2 is going to really show us and really deliver, because some of the matches on this card, I mean, I have a small complaint that some should have got more time, but so impressive. I don't know how they just do this time after time, put on brilliant shows, but I'm very much looking forward to what we've got tomorrow night. But yeah, we're going to run down everything that happened on the show today in just a second, so stay tuned. In case you're new here, right here at WrestleManiac UK, I discuss everything that's WWE and AEW. So if this sounds like the place for you, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well, so you get notified each and every time I drop a new video. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's do it. Let's talk about it. NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver Night 1 review. So I watched the pre-show. The pre-show was really good. Had some special interviews on it, which I'll try and blend into the actual main show once we start, reviewing the main card. But on the pre-show, the match was Zoe Stark versus Toni Storm. Brilliant match. Like, this match came out of nowhere. I think they announced it yesterday that this was going to be on the pre-show. These two, I don't believe, have collided on the main roster. Obviously, Zoe Stark has only joined the main roster in the last month or two. I say main roster, the main NXT roster. Such a good match. If these guys had like an actual feud or a longer period, a brilliant match could be told. This match itself could have been on the main card. It was just to get the crowd warm. It was beautiful to see that it's like the capacity in the NXT arena had almost doubled. We still had the screens, but more fans were actually in attendance, which was really fun to see. You could really tell the atmosphere was cranked up a bit. These ladies told a brilliant story. Toni Storm is good. Zoe Stark, I mean, you can go back to any one of my last 5 NXT reviews on this channel and you would hear me singing the praises of Zoe Stark. And I don't know anything about this woman before she joined NXT, and she's knocking it out of the park every single week, every opportunity she's given. So it was crazy to see her really deliver at a takeover. Yes, it's the pre-show, but really deliver. And then not just deliver, but also get the win. Yes, Zoe Stark pinned Toni Storm. Incredible. And it's like I say, the rise of Zoe Stark so quickly through NXT it's astounding, really. Can't wait to see where this is gonna go. This is going to be really interesting, and like I say, the feud that these guys can put on down the line once maybe a story is actually established could be really, really good, really, really interesting. So yeah, terrific pre-show match to kind of kick us off on the night. Next up on the night, on the actual card, the first match they started with was Pete Dunn versus Kashida. This was the battle of the technicians. Who is the better technical wrestler, the best technical wrestler in NXT, WWE, the world? Depends what they were really competing for in terms of titles. But again, this is the match that could have done with, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Make it a submission match. Make these guys literally see who could be more cruel and vicious to each other through several submissions. And we did see a bit of that anyway. For the first maybe 5 minutes of this match, there was no one in the ascendancy. It was literally 30 seconds Pete Dunn, 30 seconds Kashida, 30 seconds Pete Dunn, 30 seconds Kashida. And it was literally just like that. No one could really capitalize. They came to a long part within the middle of the match where Kashida took charge. We saw the hoverboard lock off the top rope and into that. A submission where he basically trapped both of Pete Dunne's arms, and Pete Dunne had to basically shimmy along his stomach to the ropes and get his foot on the bottom rope. Eventually, Pete Dunne really came through in this match. He's got that vicious side. He was always my pick to to win this match. He came through, he snapped the fingers of Kushida, hit him with a roundhouse kick, and then the bitter end for Pete Dunne to get the win. Shrugged to the camera afterwards and walked out of there. I want them to do something with my man Pete Dunne. I mean, maybe, of course, he was not going to progress in the North American Championship match, and he had this match, and I was confident he would win this match with Kashida. Maybe he faces whoever that champion is coming out. We're going to talk about that match in just a second, but I need them to do something with my guy Pete Dunne. He's in formidable shape. It looks like they've changed his entrance music packaging a tad. They've got to do something with this guy, man. Honestly, there's too much talent in NXT, 100%. But Pete Dunne has got to be knocking on the front door for the very top, the upper echelon. So yeah, that's going to be really interesting to see how he kind of kicks on and develops in the next couple of months. On the other hand, Kashida, things aren't going great for him per se. He's just kind of by being used as a good hand. He can put on terrific matches, but I don't really know what the direction is that they have for Kashida at this time. But next up, we're going to talk about it. It was the North American Championship match. It was the Gauntlet elimination. So obviously the championship match itself will be on tonight's episode, night 2 of Stand and Deliver. However, this was the Gauntlet eliminator, where 2 men started in the ring. Every 3 minutes, another competitor entered the ring until all 6 competitors were active. And you could win the match by submission or pin. We had the match start with Leon Ruff crawling out of the entranceway. He had clearly been attacked backstage by Swerve Scott, just like Leon Ruff was attacked Swerve Scott last week. Swerve Scott was the MVP of this match. Now, I said some weeks ago, and I stand by it, I still don't really get his character. I still don't really connect with his character. But of this match right here, Swerve Scott bossed it. He was the MVP of this match. After him and Leon Ruff started the match and had a good back and forth between them, Bronson Reed came out. Bronson Reed was obviously very, very dominant as he came out and put both of these guys to the sword, basically. We saw Cameron Grimes join. Cameron Grimes, very funny from the off. He came in, big moonsault as he came in. I think between him and Swerve Scott, they knocked Bronson Reed out of the ring. Cameron Grimes took a wad of money out of his trunks and handed it over to Swerve Scott like he's paid for his services. Swerve Scott pocketed the money, and those two worked in as a tandem for a bit, taking out Bronson Reed, being the bigger man sort of thing, also working together to take out Leon Ruff at times. So that was really fun to see. After that, we had Dexter Lumis made his entrance. And I think as LA Knight made his entrance, Leon Ruff was eliminated. He was the first person eliminated. Dexter Lumis was my pick for the match, but he got eliminated. He put, who did he have in that headlock? I think it might have been Swerve Scott or someone he had in his headlock, sitting down headlock. And then LA Reed, that's what I'm going to call him now. LA Knight rolled up Dexter Lumis while he was delivering that headlock, and Dexter Lumis was eliminated. So I was really shocked because I had Dexter Lumis to go on and win this entire thing. But Dexter Lumis waited outside. LA Knight didn't wait a lot longer to be eliminated. He got kind of attacked by every man left in the ring. And pinned. He walked out the ring, and Dexter Lumis put him in the headlock outside the ring. So maybe we're gonna get a Lumis LA Knight feud coming up very soon. Next up, we saw I think it was Cameron Grimes was eliminated, and then it was left with Swerve Scott and Bronson Reed, and they fought for about 5 minutes, and this was excellent. We saw Swerve Scott get into the ascendancy. He delivered like 3 of those kind of side kicks to the head that he does to Bronson Reed, tried to pin Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed didn't have it, kicked out. We then saw Bronson Reed basically fight his way back into this match. He went up top for a tsunami, and I keep telling you guys, that tsunami from that big man looks brilliant, and he laid out Swerve Scott with the tsunami. So Swerve Scott went the entire distance of this match, but came up short to the tsunami, came up short to Bronson Reed, who will now go on to face Johnny Gargano tonight, night 2 of NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver for the North American Championship. We saw Johnny Gargano come out and taunt taunt Bronson Reed, and they had a bit of a war of words backstage as well with Mackenzie. Johnny Gargano congratulating Bronson Reed, saying that, tonight was your big night. Well done. I'm very happy for you. Tomorrow it's not going to be the case. Tomorrow it's not going to be the same thing. So very, very interesting to see how that goes. Still very shocked it wasn't Dexter Lumis. Bronson Reed, could he win tomorrow night? You guys put your comments down below. I mean, I would be interested to seeing him win. I don't think Johnny Gargano needs this belt for anything, really. But he can put on a fantastic match with Bronson Reed. Get Bronson Reed a really big win, and that could be really productive to see how Bronson Reed kicks on in NXT. So I wouldn't mind seeing it at all. Let me know what you think if Bronson Reed could become North American champion. Next up on the show, we had what was probably my match of the night. Definitely my match of the night. We're going to talk about it in just a second. Guys, please make sure if you're watching, you hit that thumbs up button. It does loads for the channel. I appreciate it every time you guys do, because it then shows this video, puts it in front of more people to see and join this community that we're building here at WrestleManiac UK. So I appreciate it, if you haven't already, to smash the like button. Next up on the show, the WWE NXT United Kingdom Championship was on the line. Volta here in NXT Takeover, NXT America. He was here defending it against Ciampa, and I was immediately happy to see we've got our Ciampa back. This isn't old man Ciampa. This is Psycho Killer Ciampa. He had cut his hair. He looked like 2018 Ciampa with the nice long coat, the trunks, ripped as hell. This is the guy we fell in love with, after turning on Johnny Gargano. And that's exactly who we got tonight. He knew what the stakes were. And one little thing I'll let you guys in on, I don't know if you saw it, Walter had a interview with Samoa Joe on the pre-show. And Samoa Joe was asking him about, where are you based and all of this kind of stuff. And he said, I want to be based in Europe. I want to put European wrestling on the map. Samoa Joe said to him, what happens if you lose the NXT UK championship? Walter did still say, he wants to put European wrestling on the map, but he did say, you never know where you could end up. I want Walter in America personally, but we shall see. This match, yeah, brilliant. Like I said, match of the night. Go and watch it. Tommaso Ciampa, in my eyes, was never gonna win. The size difference from these two guys already, Tommaso Ciampa is basically a cruiserweight, in terms of weight classification. This matchup was just brilliant. Loads of slaps, loads of power moves by Ciampa as well as Walter. There was a couple times Ciampa picked Walter off his feet and delivered, even like I remember at one point, there was an air raid crash from the top rope onto Walter. Walter kicked out. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The chest of Walter was red. I think it was redder than Ciampa's, if I remember, from chops from Ciampa. There was one point where Walter went to give Tommaso Ciampa a chop near the announce table. Ciampa jumped out the way. Walter's arm went through the table. Now, this may have been a gimmick table, but it was still a brilliant visual. It was like literally cracked wood of the table, and Walter sold his arm for the rest of the match. Fantastic match. Honestly, fantastic match. Go and see it if you haven't already. In the end, Walter put away Ciampa. He put him away with, I think it was 2 power bombs, a release like choke German suplex, and then a chop. Ciampa was down. Walter pinned him. Ciampa was joined on the entranceway by the Imperium guys. Ciampa is still the Walter is still the NXT UK champion. So yeah, man, brilliant match of the night, 100%. It's just a bit of a shame. It was a kind of, you knew somehow that Ciampa wasn't gonna win. That's the only thing, but these guys brought it. Honestly, they brought it. Such a good match. Next up on the night, we had the tag team championship match. These are obviously the vacant tag team championships. MSK versus Grizzled Young Veterans versus Legado del Fantasma. Again, another brilliant match. We knew we were going to get a brilliant match out of this. we saw Legado del Fantasma dominate this match for very long periods. They looked very, very good. And there was one particular point where they had cleared the ring, and I think it was it Zach Gibson or someone from MSK they had completely alone, and my eyes were lighting up because you guys know how I feel about Legado del Fantasma. I thought these guys are gonna win. Kicked out. I couldn't believe it. I did love how the Grizzled Young Veterans got rid of Joaquin Wilde, how MSK got rid of Raul Mendoza, and basically the match was they were out for the rest of the match, and this just became MSK and GYV. And GYV and MSK are going to build a fantastic feuding relationship throughout their time in NXT. You can see it already. There's so much history between these teams already. And yeah, MSK from there, once both two teams got back in the ring, MSK really just kind of stole the show and put away GYV. Again, GYV coming so close to these championships. Always the bridesmaids, never the brides, as they say. And MSK win the NXT Tag Team Championships. Really good for them. They've literally been shot to the moon since arriving in NXT. It does make me think, where do they go from here? They'll obviously have a very solid tag reign. GYV will probably be the ones to take it off them, but they've already achieved, this is the top of the top in their division. So, depending how it goes for them, who knows, they may be on main roster before too long. But yeah, really well deserved. They've come in, they've made a really big impact. They're fantastic in the ring. That's undeniable. And yeah, they're already at the pinnacle of the tag division in NXT. So yeah, big up to them. Like I said, main event time, ladies and gentlemen. Main event, NXT Women's Championship. Io Shirai defending the championship against Raquel Gonzalez. Raquel Gonzalez, how they've built this woman in the past year, coming in as the enforcer, the hired gun of Dakota Kai, to now surpassing Dakota Kai, main eventing a takeover in night one of this takeover. Absolutely phenomenal story. Obviously pinning Io Shirai back in November in War Games. They've built her incredibly, and it was her destiny to do big things on this night. Io Shirai, the champion over 300 days. They said only Shayna Baszler and Asuka bear similar records in terms of consecutive days of holding this championship in NXT. So she's already in fantastic company, despite them not really treating Asuka and Shayna Baszler well on the main roster. But we will talk about this match because this match was brilliant. We saw Io Shirai really taking it to Raquel Gonzalez in the earlier stages of the match, got Raquel Gonzalez out of the ring. Dakota Kai rearing her head into this match very early on. The referee saw it though. The referee threw Dakota Kai out of the Capitol Arena, and I was happy that happened nice and early, because then no one can say, oh yeah, she cheated to win, this, that, and the other. This was basically a one-on-one singles match for the entirety of it. These two traded a lot of, obviously there was a lot of powerhouse kind of stuff coming from Raquel Gonzalez. There was a lot of kind of, I don't want to say loads of mistakes, but a couple missteps, which, Io Shirai, you could see, was correcting and everything like that. Io Shirai was obviously setting the pace of this match. The big spot of this match was fantastic. We saw Raquel Gonzalez onto the entranceway, and all of a sudden, where the camera was really focused on Raquel Gonzalez and her getting back to her feet, no one knew where Io Shirai was. You see that skull in the back of the entranceway? Io Shirai was on top of that skull, and as the camera panned up, you literally saw Io Shirai jump from the top of what they said was a 20-foot skull onto Raquel Gonzalez, onto this iron grating that was beneath them. The sound it made was brilliant. Both women got up unscarred. Io Shirai was really like, up, yeah, I'm fine. That this never, nothing really happened to me, sort of thing. But yeah, the sound it made was brilliant, sounded brutal. The jump itself, Raquel Gonzalez obviously doing her due diligence to catch her. It was amazing. Amazing spot. We've seen her jump from the house at the In Your House takeover, and now it's from the skull of this one. We saw them get back into the ring. Io Shirai finally managed to get her moonsault off on Raquel Gonzalez, but still couldn't pin Gonzalez. Gonzalez did fight her way back into the match. I think Raquel Gonzalez at this point and Io Shirai were at the other opposite turnbuckle. Io Shirai tried a top rope move. Raquel Gonzalez grabbed her, got her in the one-handed powerbomb position, and powerbombed Io Shirai for the 3 count to become the NXT Women's Champion. Fantastic scenes when Raquel Gonzalez won. You know, it's that borderline that we spoke about when they won the Dusty Classic, her and Dakota Kai. That borderline between her still selling that she's a heel and just being overcome with emotion given, you know, the occasion. Can't blame her. I do think, you know, she came onto the entranceway and they started pumping in this smoke, and then, you know, pyro was going off and stuff like that. She got a bit lost in the smoke, so I think they told her to move forward, the cameramen, so that the smoke was effectively behind her and she wasn't standing in the middle of it because they need their shots and everything. But, you know, minor little thing. This is someone that's effectively climbed to the top of the mountain when you could easily say this wasn't meant to happen. She was probably meant to get Dakota Kai over, looked brilliant doing so, and they thought, let's give her a go. Let's give her a go. She is not the finished article in terms of in-ring ability, skill, this, that, and the other, tidiness. She's obviously not of Io Shirai's, you know, she's not cut from that same cloth of silkness of Io Shirai, but she deserves it. The story determined that she had to be next. They've done this as a slow burn. Ever since she pinned Io Shirai in November, they've done this as a slow burn. And honestly, she deserves it. I'm so happy they've done this. So happy with the way they done this as well. I truly believe this shouldn't have happened as soon as it has happened. But, you know, you strike whilst the iron is hot. I always say this. Main roster don't tend to do this, but NXT are perfect at this. And congratulations to Raquel Gonzalez. I'm a big fan of everything she's done in the last year and very happy to see this. And big up Io Shirai. Like, great champion, great matches. I don't know where she goes from here on out. Do we see her on main roster after WrestleMania? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. But this was fantastic moment, a fantastic kind of changing of the guard. And we move tomorrow, or tonight, should I say, is Stand and Deliver Night 2. Gonna be awesome. Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly, Balor versus Karrion Kross, Santos Escobar versus Devlin. It's mad. It is nuts, and I can't wait to be here and review it with you guys again tomorrow. So that was your NXT Takeover Night 1 review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please let me know down below in the comments what you think of Io Shirai. Where's she going? Where's her next steps? And let me know what your thoughts are on the entire pay-per-view. I really enjoyed it. Bronson Reed, could he also become North American champion tonight on Stand and Deliver Night 2? Be really interesting to see. Guys, please make sure you've hit the thumbs up button on your way out, and remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time I drop a new video. And that is it. I will see you in the next one. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.